Then the next program, maybe we only buy stuff for 10 people, and 100 people show up. So that helps us if you register, so that way we kind of know how many people to expect for our things, and that way you don't come in and we say, I'm sorry, but you know, all of your friends can do the craft, but we don't have enough for you, because that would be no fun. So all of that information is on here, and I'm going to give that to your teacher so she can pass it out to you guys. So this is one thing that I brought for you today. Another thing that I brought for you today, a couple of different things in here. If there's anyone here, does anyone here like to do competitions where you're like competitive people, like to do like games and quiz type things like that with other people? Another thing that I brought in today, and again I brought 24 of them, so I'm not, I think it's 24. I brought less of these because I had already sent these to your teacher ahead of time. Some of them are for older kids in case you want to give that to the older teachers. And then for your age, we have a program that we're doing every year at the library. We've done it for the past couple of years. Some people here might know this. This is called Battle of the Books. And what we do is over the summer, we ask that you read these 5 books that are listed. And then
read them out loud. What are they?
The books that we have Blubber by Judy Blume. If you're not familiar with the book, I'm going to actually show you. I brought that book a little bit.
Awesome, because we've read a lot of Judy Blume this year, so yeah, show them to us.
Oh, perfect. Blubber is this one right here, and I won't tell you everything about the story, but it has to do with a girl who, she's not really necessarily a bully, but she does some things that I guess she doesn't really think, and she is kind of bullying another girl in her school. They start calling her Blubber, and they're saying like she's fat, and they're being really, really mean to her. And well, the one girl who starts it, she's kind of going along with what the other kids are doing, and she thinks that if she's not kind of acting the same way, that they might start picking on her. Well, you'll have to read what happens to find out, but things get switched around, and she gets to be on the receiving end, and she finds out what it's like to be bullied. You'll have to read the book to find out exactly how that happens and how it ends up at the very end, whether or not she ends up being bullied forever, or if she's able to get the other kids to stop picking on her, and whether or not she ends up having any friends at the very end of the book. That's one of the books that I brought with me today, and that's one of the ones that we'll use for Battle of the Books. Another book that I brought that we'll be using is called The Whipping Boy. And this one, it was actually a Newbery Award-winning book.
I read that. Somebody else read that. Did anyone else read that yet? Or
I started it, but then I didn't.
you didn't finish? I read it. We do a holiday book a day challenge where I challenge them to read one book during each day of the holiday break.
Oh, fantastic.
So I read Whipping Boy, and so I brought that. I love that book. It's awesome.
This is a really fun one. This one is kind of like, imagine if you had someone who, if you were being punished, and, well, this one, The Whipping Boy, has to do with a royal prince, and, well, if you're royalty, well, my goodness, no one can spank you because you're royal. So anytime the prince acts up, whenever he's naughty, the whipping boy is the boy who gets punished instead of the prince. Not a very fun job, I would imagine, because the prince can be really, really bad, and, well, it doesn't matter to him because nothing happens to him, but the boy who gets punished, it's not so good to be him. Well, something happens, and in just a strange situation, they ended up switching places. And, well, now the prince, who no one has ever laid a hand on him before or spanked his rear end, well, he ends up getting into some troubles that, well, have to do with things like spanking and stuff like that. And the other boy, he learns what it's like to be the prince. So you'll have to read this one to see whether or not they ever get switched back to their proper spots. The next one that I have is called King of the Wind, and this one, King of the Wind, this one is, as with The Whipping Boy, it's a historical fiction book, and this one was also a Newbery Award-winning book. I thought some people might want, some people like animals, and so I thought I would bring this one's an animal book. King of the Wind, this is about one of the first like racing horses, and when it's brought to America, just different things that go on with the life of this horse and the boy who takes care of him. So this is King of the Wind, another very good book. And I'll go through the last two kind of quick because I don't want to run out of time for you guys. The next one is called Gentle Ben. This is another book that has to do with animals. And in this one, it's kind of hard to see, but you can see in the front, we've got a boy right here, and as his pet, his parents bought for him a pet bear, and I'm trying to remember, I think it is called a Kodiak bear. I'm trying to find the name of it on here. It's a humongous bear. It's like a huge grizzly bear. He lives in Alaska, and he